Just start off by saying we're back.
You just did.
No.
That's your cue. That's your cue.
That's your cue, Jayden. We're back.
That's my cue. Back on VIC Radio. Oh my goodness, it feels good to be back, even though we are still technically remote at the moment doing this over a Zoom call. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll be back in studio next week on Saturday for your 1 to 2 slot. Don't you even worry about it. It feels so nice to be back in Ithaca College. I will say that, even though there's a lot of snow on the ground. But the last time we had a Dribblin Around show, James Harden wasn't on the Nets yet. So let's just keep it at that. So how much
guys are still an average team too. They were an average team in the West.
Let's just recognize how much has changed since the last time we had a show. The Jazz are a fantastic team in the West. The Nets have James Harden now. The LeBron James and the Lakers struggle a little bit. I did get a haircut. My hair's no longer.
Got a haircut. I think we all got haircuts.
I think we all ended up having to.
I gotta get them. By the way, just to make an observation, because we're remote, Jayden and I are both in our underwear. So that's just a great observation. Yeah. Listen, if you want to edit that out, we can, because we're remote. That's the beauty of it. See, if we said that live, it'd just be like that calculated risk. And we just
It'd be also kind of weird if you admitted to just sitting like in your underwear in the VIC studio. In your T7 dorm. But
sitting in the underwear in VIC studio, I think that's always been a dream of a lot of people to just do that, just to go.
I mean, I've already done it.
Okay. Very, very proud of you.
I John Macari encourages it.
Okay.
I definitely do that.
Starting off strong. Definitely. And we're going to get right into it. The Utah Jazz looking absolutely fantastic in the West, 26-6. The second best team in the West is 23-11 in the LA Clippers, with the Lakers third, 22-11 themselves, but obviously having some struggles right now without Anthony Davis. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, the Utah Jazz looking absolutely fantastic, and they've won 9 out of their last 10. So Connor, I'm gonna come to you first. How you feeling about these Utah Jazz?
Really weird, because they didn't make a jump on paper like this offseason. It's just everyone collectively talent-wise took a jump. Like, there might not be a brighter green light in the NBA right now than Jordan Clarkson. And I didn't I think, Dane, you had him as your 6th man of the year. I didn't hate the pick because of the player.
I didn't. I think I had him. I think I had Karras, but Jordan was like my second.
Yeah, we were like debating between Clarkson and then like a Nets player, but like the thing, because Clarkson was a popular 6th man of the year pick, I just don't think enough people, and myself, we weren't sold on the Jazz being good enough for him to win that award, even if he did, was head and shoulders above everyone like he is now. Now he's green light. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert has quieted a lot of slander this season, and it's like he's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year already.
Listen,
3rd time in 4 years.
Yo, man, he's like, we're coming up on that 1-year anniversary. He's just letting all the anger out. March 11th, getting COVID. The Jazz, listen, I'm the one who said them and the Pacers, who aren't working out as much as I thought they would. The East is kind of a mess.
Yeah,
we'll talk a little bit about that. The East is sort of a jumbo cluster right now. But the Jazz, I had them as one of my sleeper babies because I trusted Quentin Snyder as a coach. And Donovan Mitchell, I wouldn't say he's making I think he's making a jump in terms of shot selection and moving the ball. Like, maybe not in terms of that huge jump in terms of his points are going up or his assists are going up, but he's starting to learn the offense. He's starting to really slow the game down for him and really start to control the pace, which is huge in today's NBA. Mike Conley is playing a lot better than a lot of people expected. He's been great at that point guard spot. And one of the things they do, because they move the ball so well, they have that rim protector in Gobert, but they have a bunch of shooters on the floor. O'Neal can defend, okay shooter, but Ingles is a very good shooter. Bogdanovich is a very good shooter, who they didn't have in the playoffs last year. Remember, they didn't have him in the playoffs, and they almost beat Denver, right? They're up 3-1. Yeah. And if they have him, they do beat Denver, and who knows if they'd beat the Clippers. Let's not speculate. But this was already a good team that maybe could have even made the Western Conference Finals last year. So I think it's a huge surprise where they are at the 1. And I think they'll probably stay at the 1. We've seen these teams. I'm not going to say they're going to make the finals, but I think if people actually watch the trajectory, they remind me a lot, and people have said this, of the Hawks when they had Jeff Teague, Millsap, Horford, and those guys. They got the 1 seed in the East like 5 or 6 years back. But they're scary too, especially if the Lakers, if they continue to not have AD, and we've seen what's happened with the Clippers collapse a few times. I'm not putting it out of the question that they could come out of the West right now. No, but it's a possibility.
Few things coming out of this. One, usually I make this statement saying that the best player on the best team wins the MVP for the regular season. I don't see an MVP caliber as the level of you would see LeBron right now, how they're touting him, or Embiid, or Nikola Jokic, even though they're the 8 in the West. I don't see like an MVP caliber guy. And if you're going to say anybody, it's probably going to be Gobert or Donovan Mitchell, obviously one of those two, if to pull out the best player on that team. But what Connor said was very true. It is a collective group effort from the Jazz, which is pretty impressive that collective group effort and not just one person is willing them to a 26-6 record in this NBA. And that's not like they're in the East where they have teams that are under 500 in the playoffs. It's in a very, very stout Western Conference. So pretty impressive for the Utah Jazz. I want to switch gears a little bit and look at the Los Angeles Lakers just a bit, just to get underneath the skin of Dane here. Dane, they're on a 4-game losing streak as we record this. And the main issue isn't what's on the court, it's what's currently not on the court, and that is because of injuries. Anthony Davis not there, and Dennis Schroeder not there because of injuries. Are you panicking? Are you calm? I know we're before the All-Star break and we're a ways away, but just give me your emotional state right now as a Lakers fan.
I'm okay. Because, listen, if the Lakers manage this right and get Anthony Davis back healthy, as long as they don't fall like in the 7 or 8 spot, I don't really care where they end up at the end of the regular season. I really don't, because if they can go into the playoffs at full strength, then I will be okay with that. And like I said, it could be even a bigger challenge than last year, because remember, they haven't had much rest. I think the loss of a rim protector actually really hurts as much as Montrezl Harrell can do. And I'll talk about this if we talk about the Clippers. Serge Ibaka fits that system for the Clippers better than Harrell did. He's a better rim protector and he stretches the floor better. They lost McGee, they lost Howard, and now they don't have Anthony Davis in there. Schroeder hurts a lot. I'm not sure, like he needs to move the ball a little bit better, but it's tough because I want the Lakers to make a move, like a nice move at the deadline, but what assets do you have? Kyle Kuzma right now. Yeah. I really wish he would be playing better because I want to get rid of him now, because he up his trade value, because the Lakers, they should have signed Jeremy Grant instead of a combination of KCP, Wesley Matthews, and Montrezl Harrell. Because Jeremy Grant is balling out, and now I could have said that 3 months ago too. He's a guy I would look at for the deadline. Yeah, I would take a haul. Nikola Vucevic from the Orlando Magic is a guy I would look at the deadline.
Vusa. You all see that right Kendrick Perkins, so he couldn't pronounce the name of Vucevic.
Right now, it looks like they're not on a trajectory to win the finals, even if they had AD. But I'm just gonna stay put for now, stay calm, see how it works out. Also, I have a bad feeling about LeBron just continuing to just go full strength every night, all the time.
Well, to that point, I think he's just trying to send a message to everyone in the league.
But we're not even winning.
Exactly. But I think he wants to send a message saying that he is going to play now was it 72? So he is going to play all of them. He wants to play all these games, or at least as much as he physically can at his age, right? And I think that he feels after last season with not winning the MVP award to Giannis, that he feels like he deserves it, especially with the way that Giannis is playing now compared to last season, and where that LeBron has been just the most consistent guy that night in, night out. You're getting LeBron James, and especially now in the regular season, not only you're getting in playoff LeBron James, but you're getting a regular season LeBron James we haven't seen in a very long time. So load management, it's a thing, but He has put that to the wayside for for this abbreviated year.
Can I make a
Slightly
bold?
abbreviated.
Can I make a bold prediction?
Go for it. Why not?
Right here, it's February 26th. Barring any health, obviously injuries create things and they hinder things. If the Lakers do not make a move at the trade deadline for a rim protector or some sort of offensive threat, the Brooklyn Nets are going to win the finals. Mark it down.
If we
Talk
if
about
we
the
had
East
this
later.
if we
But-
had this conversation 2 weeks ago, I would have called you crazy. But I think we've seen a much better Nets team than we've seen.
Like I said, barring health.
Yeah,
Like-
barring health.
Before we go all the way over to the East, I just want to say like one last thing about the Lakers. It's like I wouldn't even be worried about making a trade deadline because you're going to be getting like the two best assets you can get as a Lakers fan pretty soon. And that is AD and Schroeder. Like you'll be getting AD back. I guess like I do see where you could use a depth rim protector, just like a more mobile Marc Gasol, just someone who can like just be more just agile and everything you need to quicker defensively. Because I know Harrell isn't giving you that, just pure
This
big
is
on big.
Surge.
No, yeah, I mean Surge is great, but yeah, it's just the Lakers. They're in a tough spot, but you know what else is in a tough spot pretty much right now? The entire bottom half like of the Western Conference. Do you know who the 6th seed is right now in the West?
Wait, is it Portland?
It's the Spurs.
Yeah.
Good for them. Like we put them at the, we didn't even think about them. Like, of course they are. Of course they are.
Yeah.
Like what? Go ahead, Jayden.
I'm wearing my Knicks shirt right now, and I've been wearing the Knicks shirt pretty often every time we do dribbling around. And the Mavericks are at the 10. The Knicks have the Mavericks first round pick this year. So if that turns into a lottery, and then
But
the
they
Knicks,
do the 7v10 and 8v9 thing this year.
I hate basketball sometimes. But hey, but what I will say is that the Mavericks are not playing to anywhere close to where we expected them to. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Luka Doncic is going to be the MVP this year." Not looking like it. Not looking like
wasn't playing the way everyone expected him to. And
I
now
said
he's
Jokic.
starting to. Now he's starting to. There was a difference. Like Luka started off cold. The Mavs team started off cold. As he's picked it up, like, did anyone else see that game against the Celtics?
Very true. But then again, you could talk about the Celtics. It's the Celtics right now.
The Celtics are.
The Celtics are rough. We'll get in. I definitely want to get into Boston slander later in the episode.
Oh geez.
It doesn't even have to be Celtics, just Boston slander.
I think that might be the right direction to go into right now. Start moving in towards that Eastern Conference. And one thing that we can't slander right now is the Philadelphia 76ers. We slandered them all last season, and that was our
Jazz and the 76ers and the top 2 teams in the conference.
We're done. I'm done with Philly slander for now. Like I can't say much. I can't. Daryl Morey,
I didn't make my sleeper baby because I was so close to doing that. I was so high on their offseason moves, and I just got like wowed by Washington's offense. And I didn't think Embiid was gonna have like an MVP type season.
Ben Simmons is also disgusting.
Yeah.
Like defensively, bro, he doesn't need to shoot threes if he has shooters like that. And JoJo, like that team, they're not the favorite in the East, but they're really good.
They're not the favorite in the East anymore because of the resurgence of the Brooklyn Nets. What we saw from these Brooklyn Nets these past few weeks has honestly been jaw-dropping compared to where they were when they first got James Harden. They went from a team that we talked about on YouTube at the beginning of the season that had a ton of potential because they were so deep and had a fantastic bench and honestly everything you would want in a basketball team with the 2 top stars. And then they get James Harden and they lose that fantastic bench. They can't play any defense. They look like an absolute abysmal of a team with some they look like you put together if you play NBA 2K My Team, what you would do is make your ranking lower, you would put all your best players in your starting lineup and then just put bronzes in on your bench so you would go against worser people. That's what it looks like the Nets did, but they ended up figuring it out. Now they're playing. They don't need to play great defense from what that's sort of the narrative with the Nets. You don't need to play great defense with the way your offense is, but you need to play defense. So you can't just not do it. So they ended up now figuring it out in some way, shape, or form. They're a decent defensive team and a fantastic offensive team. When I say decent, I mean like they could, they're not going to allow 140 points. They're going to play a semblance of defense. So, but they're willing to have a lesser defense when your offense is fantastic with having the three heads, three-headed monster. And, and that team is looking in the right direction compared to where it was 3 weeks ago. I honestly wrote them off in my head a couple weeks back, saying that I thought that could have been probably the dumbest trade in the history of the NBA, but maybe it might be one of the smarter ones.
The decision to put Harden at the 1 and Kyrie
is what made it. Yeah.
Well, that's perfect because Kyrie is so much of an ISO guy. You let him do his thing. And because Harden was required to score so much in Houston, we forgot how good of a passer. He's averaging almost 12 assists a game now as the point guard for Brooklyn. That's ridiculous. And this is with KD on and off the court. KD's not even KD right now in terms of shots. I feel like he's the third option in terms of like actually. That's ridiculous.
Well, we haven't seen him play a little bit, but the third option and your third option is Kevin Durant, and they honestly makes you want to cry if you're any of the Eastern Conference team.
Like Joe Harris is very underrated shooter in today's game.
Jeff Green is decent too. Yeah. That guy, he's a veteran. He's a fighter. I mean,
we might have exhausted the topic once we get to Jeff Green trade. I think the main reason why we transitioned over here is like, who are we picking? Like, if it's the Eastern Conference Finals right now, 7-game series, Brooklyn and Philly. We don't care about home court advantage. Just who's the better team in a 7-game series.
Danny Green will miss enough threes. I gotta go Brooklyn.
If you asked me this question 2 weeks ago, I would have said 76ers hands down. I would have bet my life on it. But now I think I might have to lean towards the Brooklyn Nets. We'll see when it comes playoff time, honestly, how well are they playing defense. And I think it's going to be a lot better compared to how it was 3 weeks ago, compared to how it is now, just from a team gelling together, because they honestly just made a brand new team by bringing in James Harden and eliminating a lot of what their depth was. So at this point, their defense is good, and if the defense continues to hold sturdy, then I think they have no problem coming out of the East.
Yeah, the one thing for Philly for me, if Tobias Harris can score and play well consistently for them, that pushes them to another level, and that makes it that much closer. He's been playing well this year, and that's a huge difference.
And that's why I'm taking Philly.
Oh, jeez.
It's Kyrie, KD,
great, but I also believe it. Like, I also believe it, and I'm not trying to say it just to be like trendy and everything, because I know it's definitely going to be like the dumbest soundbite for me to possibly say going up against like 3 top, I think 10 or 11 players that I had going into the season. But it's just like, I think that Philly team is almost built to be able to withstand that type of Brooklyn offense. And everything in that series would depend on that Brooklyn offense, because you're telling me DeAndre Jordan's stopping Embiid. Embiid is throwing him into a retirement home.
Okay. Ben Simmons can only guard one guy. Who's Seth Curry guarding? James Harden or Kyrie?
Hey, don't give me no Seth Curry slander.
I'm not giving Green's assignment. I'm not saying he's shutting him down, but he's a better defender than Seth Curry.
No Seth Curry slander on this show. He is a fantastic shooter, and one of the main reasons why the
76ers slander. We turned over a new page.
Are we allowed back in Philly yet? Please, I would like to go. It seems nice. Speaking of places where we're allowed to go, New York City. The New York Knicks are just the 6th seed in the East. I know the East is extremely weak, and the Knicks are 16 and 17. They're not over 500, but they're at the playoffs. We're today. Their playoff team, Julius Randle. Come on, superstar. Now, don't buy his jersey yet. They're gonna trade him at the end of the year by the deadline. Maybe we don't know yet. No. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they should. But I think it might be better for the future of the Knicks if they traded him, because I don't think he's gonna be any. I think this is the peak of Julius Randle's potential right now.
In the offseason, then, man.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Make the playoffs. Let the things happen.
Right, third year is a team option in that contract.
I believe so.
I feel like it would be kind of like a crappy move for the Knicks to do. It's like, yeah, we'll pick up that team option and then just ship him away. So it's like,
I feel like though you ship him away to a team in the West that really is begging to make a playoff spot.
Like, I say
the Knicks get a lot in return.
Like let them work out potentially like an extension.
Because even like, okay, so
trade talks.
yes. So what if the Knicks makes the playoffs this year? They're not going to come out the East. So let's get something. Let the Knicks get something that is going to be worthwhile for the future. So when that opportunity does arise and they have the draft capital for it, they have the not only draft capital, but maybe possibly a couple players, veteran players that can make this work. Because I think this is the absolute peak of what we're ever going to see from Julius Randle.
I do too. I believe you. I just like the only problem is that if you trade Julius Randle, you're not getting like a good draft pick in return. And that's kind of what they need because I don't think
I think a desperate team might give it up, you know.
Is Portland a fit?
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio, Dallas.
You're looking for a place that needs a solid.
I think you just keep them here because listen, the Knicks, give credit to them. They've surprised a lot of people, including me. They're playing very good defense.
Because of one guy.
I'd like to see a little bit more from RJ Barrett. Emmanuel Quickly's awesome. He's like Lou Williams, very Lou Williams-ish. You can see the threes, the floater game. Mitchell Robinson, that's going to hurt for a little bit, especially on the defensive end, but I think Nerlens Noel is doing a pretty nice job. But like the Knicks just need to take advantage of those winnable games. I feel like they did last night. And they're hanging in.
Burks dropped 24. Jeremy just told all of us in our group chat. He sent the YouTube highlights of freaking Alec Burks.
Austin Rivers and Alec Burks. They're hanging in there. They're in the 6th spot. Surprisingly, actually, the Bucks have won 4 in a row. They're 20-13. I hate to like dismiss them, but they went on a little bit of a cold stretch. Now they've won 4 in a row. Remember, this is all without Drew Holiday. He's been out for like 3 weeks due to COVID protocol, and he changes their whole team. Like Jayden, hold on. What's your deal in Milwaukee right now? Because if they get back Drew, they're still a dynamite of a team. Like, because you loved them.
Yeah, because I never denied their regular season talent. That's the thing. And I didn't think that James Harden was going to the Nets. So
they're better than they were last year, though.
I think they are better than they were last year, but Giannis isn't as good as he was last year. Giannis is that Bucks team at the moment, especially with no Drew Holiday. So with as an overall team, I think they're better than what they were, but Giannis is still that team head and shoulders. And for him to not be playing to the level that we all expect Giannis to be, even though he puts up his numbers, we'll see his numbers, but the numbers are, in my opinion, almost empty given the fact that they're not dominant in the East at the moment.
Yeah. One of the things I said, the Knicks were in the 6th spot. You know who's in the 9th spot in the East right now? And
Boston Celtics.
Boston Slander.
That makes it so sad.
Wow.
So sad.
Okay,
because we all were so high on them, and potential.
Don't say we.
I was pretty high on them. I had them having third or something like that. The reason you have them so high, I do not because you think the potential that we had in Jason Tatum coming into this season, and what you had Kemba Walker and all that. Very, very cool. Very cool.
Danny Ainge is the most overrated GM in the NBA.
I do not remember.
He did a terrible job putting this team together.
I don't remember Boston Celtics in the beginning of the year. I did not put them in my top 5 at all.
Did you now? Did you?
Let's just not think about it.
It was so obvious to see that team wasn't good enough to be, because they didn't address their big man problem. Tristan Thompson and Daniel Tice, those are the two top centers on a non-playoff team in today's NBA.
You go through TikTok and they have the TikTok meme where it's you have 2 things, and if one thing improved, so would the other. And if Danny Ainge being a good GM, if he got a good center, maybe we consider him a good GM, but he's not gotten a good center in a long time.
Pull the trigger on one move. Just
wait,
one, Danny. One.
What about Drummond?
No, Drummond would be awful there. What about Drummond to the Lakers? I don't think
I was thinking about that too.
No, I don't think any team that trades for Andre Drummond is trading for him to be their second or first scoring option. Because he doesn't rim protect well enough. He eats way too many possessions.
But Drummond wouldn't be for the Lakers.
Exactly. That's the thing. So whoever trades for him, it will likely be a bad trade. Or just they won't be getting the return they think they would have.
They're just getting a lot of rebounds.
Moving on.
Well, no, I want to say this because I mentioned that Dallas-Boston game, just watching that, there's a difference between a team that has 1 all-star starter and then 2 all-star reserves. That's the difference, because those starters, they win you games. Those reserves, Tatum and Brown, no denying they're great, they don't win you Like they don't win you playoff series like that they're teetering. They don't win you championships. You have to get them help. And Danny Ainge has just been like blindly like, nope, they're really good. They're gonna take a leap. Where's that leap now? They have taken that leap. Where's the team now?
Now the Kemba deal looks bad. It does, because like
It does look bad. Yes,
he hasn't he worked. Everyone
And you know
was
who's
saying,
popping
like,
off? Scary Terry.
Scary Terry. Okay, and one thing. What I will say, just because the guy's name is Terry doesn't mean he's automatically scary.
Oh, he's scary.
You have Scary Terry McLaurin in the NFL. Scary Terry Rozier. Just because your first name is Terry doesn't make you scary. I love Terry Rozier. I think he's phenomenal. And that Hornets team, another team that we all wrote off because after the Gordon Hayward trade, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Gordon Hayward."
Gordon Hayward's good.
That's what I'm saying. He was good.
It was an overpay. I mean, I can think it was an overpay, but it's actually like working out.
It is working out, and LaMelo Ball is really good at basketball. And I don't think you guys recognized his talent at the time coming out of overseas and into the draft.
Well.
He's shooting well. He's passing phenomenal, and he's scrappy on the glass. So he's everything you'd want in a rookie.
He had to work out though. Like, I mean, it wasn't off to a great start. Like, I don't think me and Dane never denied the ceiling for him. It was just like, how quickly can he work, like wrinkle out or iron out the wrinkles?
One thing for the start of you mentioned the start of all these NBA play of LaMelo Ball, and I think you can say that about any rookie. We got to remember they didn't have summer league in Vegas, right? They didn't have a real preseason, right? So think about it. The first time LaMelo Ball and any of these rookies saw true NBA on-court competition was in a regular season game. So for them to be competing at that type of level, and for him to be putting up the numbers that he has at that type of level as a rookie is absolutely, for any rookie for that matter, for them to be playing at any competent level, I think in my head is absolutely phenomenal.
Jayden, I think that's a great point with a lot of rookies, but the thing with LaMelo, and a lot of people have mentioned this with him, he's been playing against grown men since like 15. 16.
True, but he's not playing against NBA level type of
I know, but he's been playing against that
physicality and like sense of professionalism at a pretty early age. Granted, it wasn't
the best
understood.
So did Luka.
He still progressed though. I mean, he went from playing like in like sweats in Lithuania to then going to Australia and now Charlotte. So I mean, like he's definitely been like taking steps up in his like difficulty of opponents. So it's like it's not just he's been dominating like either 18-year-olds who are worried about passing calc in California or just like weird old grown men in Lithuania. Like he's been climbing the ladder. So I'll say that.
Yeah, a lot less body hair to worry about as well in the NBA. I feel like there's not as much body hair.
You know,
I will say this, like one last, just to tie it back to Boston, because they have the same exact record as another team, Miami.
They've won 4 in a row. They're coming.
Miami?
I'm telling you, they're coming. They're healthy. They're coming. They'll get in there.
You think they're still tired from their finals?
Yo, they probably are. Bro, they're winning that division. I promise you. They're going to win that division. All right, it's weak. It's a very weak division.
It's ugly.
I know. It's really bad. It's
ugly.
Really, Charlotte's leading that division.
Also coming back though, because I won't harp on it too long. My sleeper baby.
They're not that good, bro. They're not going to
playing good now. Hold on. Russ starts playing good. You don't hear a peep. But the second he goes like what, 5 for 20, 5 for 15, is like, oh, Russ is washed. And then he just starts shooting above 50% every game for like the last 5. No one wants to talk about it. Convenient.
I think people.
What are you talking about? Why don't you go on your Twitter?
People are emotionally drained. I think people are emotionally drained at Russell Westbrook.
That's what he does to you.
Go on your Twitter and rant about it. I don't care.
Wow. Speaking of Twitter rants, we see a lot of people all the time, especially around this time of year, complain about the All-Star game and the All-Star vote. I want to start off with the argument that was brought about, I believe, a week ago, with who should have been the All-Star game starter when it came to, what was it, the Western Conference between Luka and Damian Lillard? Exactly. Thank you.
I don't think
it's a fan. It's a fan vote. One, I don't even think there should be an All-Star game this year in general. I think it depends. I hear the conversation on both sides. I have my roommate yelling at me saying that there shouldn't be an All-Star game. And then in my head, I'm like, I kind of want to see an All-Star game too. But I understand the the precedent of not having one, and especially if the players don't want to have one, that's kind of a big thing, because if the players don't want to have one, then what's the whole point of it? The main point of it is the fans. So people complain, oh yeah, Lillard should have been a starter. Lillard should have been a starter. Then you should have voted for him. All right, it's a fan vote.
Luka had the entire continent of Europe.
Yes, very true. But exactly, now that's the point. Even though us Americanized fans wouldn't want to see, so most of us
discrimination.
No discrimination.
Dribbling around is the global worldwide thing.
Yes, we're worldwide brown. But
you guys, go ahead.
Okay. So what I was saying was the fan vote is important for the All-Star game, because who is the All-Star game for? It's for the fans. It's not for the players. Yes, like they're going out of their way to entertain us for an extra game out of the year. They don't have to, but they're entertaining us for us to watch all of the best players in the league halfway through the season play against each other. It's for the fans, right? So that's the main reason why the fan vote is so important, because we're going to get to see who we want to see the most, the majority at least. So when you argue Damian Lillard should have been the guy, you should have voted for him. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's the main reason you have the All-Star game is not because, just because his PER is a little better than Luka, it makes he has to get in there. No, the more fans wanted to see Luka Doncic start in the All-Star game, so he is.
Yeah, because kind of what the fans want to see, and we should post this on our Instagram. We're a very spontaneous show. We do not script what we say. We kind of just come up with it on
sometimes
the
we do.
Sometimes, and that's just kind of the beauty of how we roll. So what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be between Connor and Jayden. We're gonna do like our own little all-star draft with the starters right now.
Gosh. I'm really bad at these drafts.
So you guys can pull them off. I'm not going to be involved in this. I'm just gonna be sort of the moderator here. So Connor and Jayden are gonna pick them. So one of you gets to be LeBron and one of you gets to be KD. So I'll let you two hash that out.
I think you were higher on KD than me. So do you want to take KD and I'll take LeBron?
I was a lot higher on.
I think that's just generally fair.
Okay.
Now, do you want to do the back and forth? Because usually they let LeBron gets the first pick in the starters, and then KD gets the first pick in the reserves, or do you want to go Connor 1, Jayden 1, 2, Connor 1, 2?
I guess
your choice.
I need to make a list here.
There's 10 dudes. There's 10. There's actually 8 dudes.
Are we picking like
just the starters? You're not picking
starters. Okay.
No, reserves will take too long. We're just
all right.
Okay, so we're just doing starters. So if we're just doing starters, we could do that fine. Okay, you ready for this?
All right, so Connor gets first pick.
I like Connor go first, but is this like a snake?
Give me Curry.
Are we going snake? So does Jayden get next 2, or is it just 1-on-1?
Oh shoot, I don't remember how it actually goes.
No, it goes 1-1 in the starters, because then KD gets the first pick in the reserves.
All right, let's just do 1-1 then. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so who'd you go with, Connor?
I went with Curry.
Steph Curry.
He goes with Curry. I'm gonna go with Nikola Jokic. Why not?
Oh,
I will take Giannis.
I'm gonna go Bradley Beal.
All right, wait, I gotta look at everyone. Let me see. I will take Luka.
That was my next one. I guess I have to go Kyrie.
And give me Embiid.
And then give me Kawhi. So that I have
Kawhi.
I have Kawhi going last pick. That's tough. So I have Kevin. I'm Kevin Durant. I'm Kevin Durant. I know I look very striking resemblance. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Nikola Jokic, Kyrie Irving, and Kawhi Leonard. I think that's a solid squad.
I've got Curry, Luka, LeBron, Giannis, and Embiid.
That's also a solid squad. Dane, I think you need to be the decision maker there.
This is tough because my first reaction was Connor's team, but Jayden's team works out well because you can put everyone in a certain position. You have KD at a 4.
Yeah, you can do that with LeBron and Giannis, though.
Yeah, first gut reaction, I'm gonna go Connor's team, but it's dude, it's so tight. I can't.
It's gonna come down to the Elam ending. Oh, I love
that. That was last year's All-Star game was so sick.
It's probably the best basketball I've ever seen.
Literally and figuratively for me. Literally, it was so sick.
Oh yeah, you were not in a good
but I watched
space there.
I watched it. Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah. Who
right,
is your first reserve pick if you had to pick? Can't be AD because he's hurt.
Me?
No, the Connor.
Well, I mean,
No,
do it-
wait. I get to go first actually. So
We're doing reserves now?
no, but just the first one.
just this one. And
I would
know-
go hard in that.
Yeah, I figured you were going that. I'm gonna go Dame.
Yeah, that's what I would have
Same
done.
dollar. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then my second would be Julius Randle, baby. I don't care. Nah, maybe
Yeah,
not.
I'd make a call. I'd make a phone a call to OKC, get Lugan Stort on the plane.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, the torture chamber.
Hey, can we talk about, speaking of Dame Dollar, Portland's doing this without CJ, and they're still hanging in the middle of the West. Like I said, they were significantly hindered by injuries last year, and that's why they barely snuck into the playoffs and then got blasted by the Lakers. But all of a sudden, now they're mostly kind of healthy. Obviously, CJ's hurt, but you got your stud healthy. Enes Kanter's actually playing really well. Gary Trent's shooting all right. So, and they're hanging in there. Let's say they get CJ back healthy. What's their ceiling? Like, it's tough to say that they're going to make it past the second round, but they're there, man. They're right there.
I would love to see them play like as a healthy team against Utah, because I feel like that would be Utah's first, because if they do play, if Utah and Portland played each other in the second round, which I think is more likely.
It's possible.
I think that's more likely than a first round matchup.
Yeah.
But barring Utah maybe slipping to 2 or 3. But I think that would really be the first, okay, Utah's for real, or it's just nope, it was basically that Atlanta team all over again, all sizzle, no steak.
I like that. Also,
yeah, it's just, listen, I would love to see that, but then are we just saying the winner of that series is just the person that's waiting to lose to the Lakers Clippers winner?
I think
kind of, but I'm not so sure right now.
Yeah, I don't want to bury a team and put that kind of bad juju on them this early in the season. Oh yeah, whoever in this hypothetical matchup, it doesn't matter because they're going to be losing to whoever beats or whoever wins Lakers Clippers. So I don't want to say that now because I think that's just unfair. But I do feel like we definitely need to see Utah win their first round series pretty resoundingly, and then depending on who their second round matchup is, because as good as they can have as good of a regular season as they can, they still need to prove it in the playoffs.
See, what scares me, what if the 1-8 matchup is Utah-Denver?
I was about to say.
No, I think Denver will come back up.
I mean, yeah, Golden State's hanging in there too. Oh my God.
Okay, Golden State hanging back in there. Oh, Curry's legacy is really just going to take a real big hit throughout this season.
I wasn't saying that. I was
really
just
going to take a huge, absolute abomination of a hit. Might as well just write him off the history books as a basketball player in general and not even existed. Just wipe him off the face of history because this season's going to be so bad for Steph Curry that I wonder who was saying that a few weeks back.
Listen. Okay.
Gosh.
I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Bold prediction. I don't think they're going to make.
You think they'll be at least a 10th seed though, right?
No, they'll make the play. Wait, never mind.
The play-in.
The play-in messes everything up for me.
Play-in screws everything up.
Because I don't know. Because whoever has the best star players in the play-in, I feel is just going to.
Well, the 10 seed has to be the 10 and the 9 seeds have to win 2 games though.
But do you realize how good that play-in could be for the West if you had 7 through 10? Could you imagine if you had, let's say, I would want Portland to fall if you had Dame, Steph, Jokic, and Luka in a play-in?
Well, no, I think God, Dallas. I think Portland. I'm going to say Portland will stay a top 6 team in the West.
Yeah, I would assume.
But I think San Antonio slips into that play-in tournament, just because I think Denver will get hot soon, and Denver's only what? I think they're 1 or 2 games back of San Antonio. They're a lot closer. They just started off slow because of injuries and also probably lack of rest. So I think Denver will see them kind of revert back to up.
Yeah. Speaking of kind of looking at the bottom of the West, Connor, you can talk a little bit about your Thunder, but 2 teams on a 9-game losing streak, the Rockets and the Kings. Not like we thought they were going to be anything. And the Timberwolves, 7-26, worst record in the NBA. They fired their coach, Ryan Saunders.
Because of the Knicks. The Knicks made a team fire the head coach, and it wasn't them doing it themselves.
Okay.
Fantastic moment.
Great point. Next.
Go put that in the rafters,
but
man.
listen, Karl Anthony Towns still seems like he's committed to Minnesota, but yes. I think you need to get that man out of there. That franchise is just a mess. You get D'Lo, you think they're going to come up, and D'Lo, after an all-star year in Brooklyn, basically just fresh from Golden State, and it's like every year. The one year they barely made the playoffs is when they had Jimmy Butler. Barely.
D'Lo and Cat have only played like 5 games together.
Still fine. Like I don't know, man. Your second guy is Malik Beasley. Anthony Edwards better turn out to be like first off, addressing that dunk of the year. First off,
great dunk of the year. Yada yada yada. 7 points in the game. We got one good dunk. Good job.
Oh, quit it.
Good. Okay, yeah. Listen, it's one good dunk, but like you see it at the park all the time. The guy gets one good move, and now he's the king of the world. But if you look at really what he did that game, what did he do? Nothing. Sad.
I feel like Connor. I feel like Jayden's implying that kids have broke his ankles at the park, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And then you're like,
"Never that."
It's kind of like it was coming from a place of pain.
No, like, never that. It's coming from a place of. It's coming into a place of knowledge of watching a reasonable amount of basketball at the park, knowing that, the guy that talks the most. I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards talks the most stuff. Ooh, we can't say that on VIC. Talks the most stuff, but I had to edit that. But you know how it goes. So, but I understand what you're saying. Don't worry. Aren't I NBA ready?
Connor, you took the words out of my mouth because you got played off of it. I was going to say that.
Got crossed off the court or something.
Never that. Impossible. Ankles forever intact.
Yeah, you're not showing us your ankles, so we can't be sure. Let's see. The Thunder. So Connor, give us your report. 13-19. They won their last game. Not too hot, but lots of draft picks. What are you thinking so far this year?
SGA is better than De'Aaron Fox and Ja Morant.
Okay.
That's the debate. They will win the championship in 2024-2025.
Okay.
Lou Dort will win at least one Defensive Player of the Year in his career.
How about that buzzer beater?
How about that buzzer beater? Am I right? Like, I don't know if I can say this, but like had a parlay that like banked on that like shot, and like I almost ruined my security deposit, my rental, because I almost kind of broke the ceiling light. But hey, it would have been worth it. It would have been worth it, man. Like that that team's fun. That team's just fun to watch. It's like they're never out of a game. It's just like, and they're also never like ahead of a game too. It's every game's a contest. It's fun. I like tanking just because I don't have to like care and be as stressed as much, because I know like that'll be 2 years down the road, but SGA is so good.
Yes. The Thunder and their 1,000 first round picks are going to be fantastic in 2 years. Just not right now, but showing great signs of life.
Be able to flip Al Horford too after like revitalizing his not necessarily career but just trade value is pretty funny too.
I have Al Horford on my fantasy team, bro. He's nice.
Yeah,
he's good. I wish he would get a little bit more minutes, but like, yeah, he's nice. He came from where did you get him? Philly? Yeah.
So Philly for Danny Green, and I think we got Theo Maledon in that trade too.
Speaking of Philly, they've been in rumors to get Kyle Lowry, and we haven't talked about the Raptors, who have been playing a lot better lately. They started off terrible, and now all of a sudden they're sitting one game under 500. They've lost 2 in a row, but in the 5 spot. Siakam has played significantly better. Norman Powell's playing pretty well the last few games, but FVV is turned into, I wouldn't want to say the number one, but kind of the number one with the way he's been playing this year. So do you think it's the right decision for the Raptors to start shopping a guy like Kyle Lowry? Because I really think he could be a huge playoff team.
It depends what the return is, because like unless you're getting like a decent pick, or just because I don't think you like if you trade Kyle Lowry, you're not trying to contend for a title. I think.
Are the Raptors really a title team?
No.
Kyle Lowry really isn't the asset you move to improve your team. Like I don't think you're getting another player that can help you right now immediately.
What is the asset though? Because
he's so old, but he could definitely be an X factor for a playoff team. Like that much has been established just because of the playoff run 2 years ago. It's hard to gauge, really. I honestly, like, personally, I don't want to see the Raptors trade him.
Me neither. Me neither.
I want him to be like one of those players that just like plays his entire career at one city. And I feel like Raptors fans kind of like want that and deserve that too after like DeRozan got traded. Granted, the trade brought you a ring, but still, it's just like that type of stuff means actually like it holds weight to fan bases. And granted, it's Toronto, it's a huge marketplace, but still, like if Lowry wants to finish his career in Toronto, I feel like that much is owed to him so far.
A lot of people forget because I remember you said his whole career he's played for the Grizzlies for 3 years. He played for the Rockets for 3 years, so 6 years of his tenured career with the Raptors. But like, yeah, you're right. Like I know him as a Raptor, and in my heart, he is like the city of Toronto. You know, Kyle Lowry, him and Kawhi, even though Kawhi ain't there no more, but he's the city of Toronto. For him to be traded would be a sad day for all Canadians. Really sad, I think.
Speaking of which, we just go off topic all the time. Just saw this video 13 minutes ago, Bomber Sports. How about Liam Spellman knocking down the jumper and going crazy?
Doing the Ronaldo spin around?
We gotta see the beginning of the video here. Him knock down the jumper. Here we go. There's Skylar in front, and it's just cash.
Wow. Absolute buckets. This is not good radio you're making, Dane, because you're showing.
I'm sorry. This is going on YouTube. Sorry,
this is going on.
What is it? Is that Bomber Sports or is that ICC men's basketball?
That is Bomber Sports.
All right, then we plug Bomber Sports. There you go, Justin Lutz.
We always plug Bomber Sports and
the Ithaca.
We've been having
the Ithaca.
Of course, we always the Ithaca.
I have a story next week coming out about Sean Burton.
Hey, listen.
Very nice.
We should have him on the show.
We should. What I will say is this: we have seen sparingly around campus. Now that we're back here in Ithaca, some of these basketball we have seen Liam Spellman all the time. It seems like we see you saw Sequoia the other day, and it's nice to catch up with these guys because for the amount of times that we talked to them over the pandemic, and for them to come onto the show has been fantastic. For them to come on draft night was also very nice. And hopefully they get to play some basketball soon in some way, shape, or form, even if it's scrimmages.
Like against Cornell and Cortland and stuff. But did I tell you I ran into Skylar and he had like on a bootleg Emmanuel Quickley's thing. Like I think he had like just a regular Knicks jersey but taped it over it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I think for spring sports at least, I know that doesn't apply to basketball, but I think there's
decisions announced today, Saturday. So like decision is announced Friday, February 26th.
We don't know yet, but
we don't know. We don't know right now recording, but like whenever this is airing tomorrow, we will probably know.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it. So we should try and have him on the show. Speaking of the Coach Burton, and speaking of the Ithacan, Connor just wrote a fantastic article that's on the front page of the sports section. Plug that right now.
Absolutely.
Huge. Get a chance to go get a copy of the Ithacan, go to the front of the sports page. I think it was like article of the week or whatever Connor said.
But I am back at it again.
Connor climbed a mountain to take
anything for the
Ithacan. I like that. Climbed the mountain. I love that. Is that the pun?
I don't know. Well, I mean,
I meant it more in a literal sense. As if he climbed the mountain with
because the piece was,
anyone else see me as a model like for the Ithacan?
Yes, that was fantastic.
I took one of those posters. I have it back in my room.
Yeah. So if anyone here for our listeners on the radio, basically Connor was like sitting on a football field with the Ithacan open. And
it was where we played. It was like on the practice field behind A&E where we played.
Higgins?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on Higgins.
He's sitting on Higgins Stadium and he's sitting on the field, the turf field, and he's just got these kicks rocking with the paper open, just reading with his mask on. And it looked good. Like it was one of those
that from Arla. Arla was supposed to do that, and they were like, "She's doing too much. Connor, come over here." It was like 22 degrees out. I had on like a flannel and sweats. That was it.
Well, speaking of weather, I gotta say it was 55 degrees here in Ithaca the other day. Connor comes out in shorts and in like
don't
I know people coming out in shorts. It's still not shorts weather yet.
If it was 49, I would have had pants on. If it was 49, I would have had pants on.
It's not shorts weather yet. We're getting close. Then the weather's getting a little nicer. The snow is melting, but
I bought my lawn chairs for the front yard. So we got like 3 little like those little like foldable chairs. $7 at Walmart. Very, very worth it.
See, Connor's the fortunate one.
I feel like we're running out on time.
I was running, bro. I run in shorts in like 30-degree weather.
Well, yeah, you have to run in shorts.
Yeah, but you're running, so it's different. You're
Oh,
working
yeah,
out.
that's true. But I was wearing shorts. And by the way, going back to that picture, that's something like if you were to make like a Tinder profile, like you would put that at the
Is
top.
it? Is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
think so.
You would put that as one of your pictures.
It was a good picture and a very.
yeah,
I think that's
it's
a
a
very
picture.
good like LinkedIn actually type of picture to put or something like that.
I mean, that's getting taped up on my
Or-
door. Like I'm just
you know.
taping everything. Like I have a parking ticket up there, but I beat the case. I have a
Oh,
couple-
really?
Yeah, I beat the. It was my first one. They gave me a warning.
Okay,
Okay.
wait. Talk about what happened because we got
Yeah.
time here.
We have plenty of time.
We
I
have
think-
time.
We
So
could just do
we
picks for
rest of the best.
Saturday night if we wanted to. Just
I mean,
NBA picks.
just
Did we
talk about the
Parked
park.
in the wrong lot. I didn't know, and then I like complained.
So you parked in a blue instead of a red?
Yeah, because like I didn't realize that like in park, like the lot's all the way over to the left. I didn't realize that was blue. I just thought I couldn't park in like the first row.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not happy about that because like I was driving home. I didn't even see the ticket whenever I got in my car. It's just I had to hit the wipers and I saw like something dragging along the windshield.
it's
Yeah,
a
I was like,
surprise.
yeah, it was just like, oh,
I got one last year too, and I was like 5 minutes late, and I tried to appeal it. Didn't work.
What I learned is, even though I don't drive, nor do I have a license or car, I learned is that if they get the color of your car wrong, you can actually fight the ticket and win.
like I have.
Yeah, I
white
didn't get my
that
color
was
wrong.
on it like cream colored or like vanilla, not white.
Like someone had a green car and they put it as gray and they won the ticket. They won the battle because they got the color of the car wrong.
Yeah, my car isn't white; it's silver. Get your facts right.
Yeah, that's what I learned though. Very good.
Okay, what
Awesome.
other things? Oh, we should talk a little bit about college, just a little bit because we only have a few minutes
True.
left.
Fine.
Our sleeper baby Michigan is doing great.
You're not their sleeper baby. I mentioned them. You know that was gonna get me angry. I'm the one who said that when they were like number 24 in the country that they're disgusting and they're gonna be good. And now look at them. Another huge win over Iowa last night. My question is, and I'm not sure you guys could speak on this too much. Are they in the Gonzaga and Baylor echelon?
Yes.
Who, Michigan?
I agree, but a lot
They're
of
on
people,
that same level?
yeah.
So if you're doing one seeds right now, it would be Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Ohio State.
Ohio State just lost last night to Michigan State.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay. I
do they
didn't
have a Big
know
Ten
that.
tournament this year?
I don't know. The problem is with a lot of NCAA, conference tournaments, you're going to see a lot of automatic bid, like teams that know they're going to make an at-large bid. They're going to opt out of the conference tournament, not taking the COVID risk. Because if they test positive for COVID, they're just not going to be able to play in the NCAAs. You're going to see Gonzaga do that, and the WCC likely.
I wonder have they announced how they're doing the tournament, because like it wouldn't shock me if they try and do like 4 bubbles.
They are doing. They're
Okay,
doing one.
that's what
You're a little late on that. You're a little late.
Well, yeah, you know, like
Where are
I'm
they?
just the most avid college basketball fan that you know. So
They're in. Was it in
you learn
Indianapolis?
something new
Or,
every day.
they're in Indianapolis, right?
Dane, did you watch the Penguins game like 2 or 4 nights ago?
This is a basketball show, but no. You texted me about something about Bob Ross.
Yeah, Steve Mears had to break the news to Bob Airy that Bob Ross is dead.
I didn't
Like,
know who Bob
wow.
Ross was until like.
Yeah, because like Bob Airy might be like, and he's just smooth brain announcer, but is like
Wow. That is definitely
talking like,
cannot put
man,
on
Bob
there.
Ross will look great in these Capital jerseys on this ice and this helmet. Gee, I wonder what his hair looks like now. And Mears just looks over him and goes, yeah, Bob Ross isn't with us anymore, Bob. And it's like, this is the same guy. It's just like,
I don't think you can put that. on.
Wait, what did he say? Did the Penguins score? He's like Crosby painting a
no, he was
picture
just,
like
it was
Bob
literally
Ross.
the Capitals were skating up the ice. And he was like, man, Bob Ross would look great in these Capitals jerseys with that hair. I wonder what it looks like now. It's like, yeah, he's not with us anymore, Bob.
Oh, that's tough.
You know,
That's
I didn't know who he was until like 2 years ago, and some art girl like freaked out at me, like in high school. It was crazy. Yeah, but other one seeds, your buddy Saucemaster Flex.
I was
Illinois
about to say the
Yeah.
fight in the line. So me and my boy Saucemaster Flex, we watch these games all the time.
I think
I think
Io's
they're a
out.
really good team. I
Io's
don't.
out for a little bit. I
He's
heard.
out with the broken nose. I know that, but he's supposed to be coming back. I think in time for the tournament, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
And what I think, can you bump them up to the 1 at this point? Because not to
The
1
Big
overall,
Ten
but
is
to
so
the
crazy.
that's the thing. You know, they're doing really, really well. They're a great team. Kofi Coburn, Christ the King legend. So I root for that's my team right now. I don't know how. Okay, what I will say is this: when I make my brackets, I don't know who I'm going to pick to win the championship. Probably until the Final Four when I make my bracket. I don't have like, I think they're gonna go ahead and win the whole thing. I need to see how the whole bracket pans out before I go and make the pick. So
That's smart.
We'll see. We'll definitely see.
We need to make, obviously, hopefully, we're going to start working on this, a giant bracket pool that people will join. And remember, our NBA playoff bracket pool, us three were all sort of like at the bottom or near the bottom, but we don't talk
We'll try
about
to do better this time.
actual basketball players.
Another rule. Only allowed to make 1 bracket for our pool. Not 3 or 4 or 5 and 19. You root for 1 bracket and that's it. Are
we putting money into this?
I don't know that. I don't know if we're allowed to talk. Bleep this out. I don't know if we're allowed to gamble over there. But what I will say is me and Sauce Flex are planning on doing a pool of our own. So
okay, wait, no, we should just do like a giant radio pool. And just
we should do a giant radio pool. All the people
call it the Dribbling Around pool because we're that cool.
Yes, we are cool because we are the only true basketball show on VIC.
Everyone else
talks, making it right.
Everyone else talks about basketball, but do you talk about like pop culture and like parking tickets on your show? No, exactly not. Impossible. You know, so my roommate Tommy, he's not in the room right now. He's getting a haircut today, and a couple of girls, and including myself, they convinced him he's getting a fade today.
No way.
He's getting a fade.
Okay, so where is he getting this haircut?
I don't know.
Because I know a nice Dominican barber in the Commons.
Wait,
could hook my boy Tommy up.
Where are you talking about, Jayden?
I think it's called like All God or something like that. Or
God's
something like that. It's right there in the Commons. And that's where I got my haircuts when I was here. I didn't let them touch the top, I only let them touch the sides and let them fade me. So maybe they can do the same thing for Tommy. I wonder what the look is going to be.
I don't think he's going there.
Goatee out. I like it.
But yeah, he's getting a fade, which is actually like I've gotten it a few times, but it's because I have to cut my hair short most of the time. It's going to be an interesting look. I mean, if you listen to him, he might be coming back in right now. We're toward the end of our show, but yeah, he's walking in right now. He's getting NBA a fade
on Saturday.
Wow.
NBA picks on Saturday. We haven't done picks in a while. We only have a few minutes.
Let's just run down the entire NBA slate. Like, don't even worry about teams in the playoffs. So first game is
Saturday.
Oh shoot, I don't think it says who's home and away. Oh,
I got you.
Cleveland at Philly.
Cleveland at Philly. Philly.
Yeah. Minnesota at Washington.
Minnesota sucks. Washington's
very good. Pelicans at Spurs.
San Antonio.
Spurs. We got to stop agreeing, guys.
It's okay. We're very smart.
Pacers at Knicks.
Indiana.
Knicks, and without a shadow of a doubt, the New York Knicks.
Knicks.
Okay.
Jazz at Magic.
Jazz. The Magic are samples of a team.
Yeah. And then Nuggets at Thunder.
Nuggets, but
and then
Maverick, Thunder, and Spirit.
Nuggets. Oh wait, no, I'll go OKC.
I'll go OKC for that.
Okay.
What, say it again because you.
Nuggets at Thunder, and then also Mavs at Nets.
Nuggets, Nets.
Yeah, I'm going Thunder, Nets.
I'm gonna go Dallas as my upset pick of the day.
I think like we all pretty much picked like the same. Actually,
they're very lopsided matchups.
1, 2, yeah, they are.
Yeah, you picked
3, 4. We have 4 games out of 7, I think. 4 games out of 7, we all agreed. So really, it just comes down to Pacers, Knicks, Nuggets, Thunder, Mavs, Nets.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. Go ahead, Jayden.
I was gonna say that was quite an all-over show, but I appreciate being back.
That's what we are, man.
We're back.
I appreciate being back. Hopefully, when we're in studio, we'll have a little bit more semblance of.
We'll be even more back.
Hey, next week we're in studio. I hope to have a Jayden's jump ball. So.
We will have a James jump ball next week.
We should be live on Instagram too. If anyone wants to hop in, comment on the show. We should have some guests soon. You know, Separate on YouTube.
figure
They're
that
not
out.
going to be during our show, but
Very fun. Very fun. Glad to be back. Glad to be back with you. Dribblin A on Twitter. Dribbling Around on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Also, we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We do all the fun things. So glad to be back. We took a little bit of a hiatus, but now on the full grind, going towards the back end of the NBA season as we head towards the All-Star break and as we head closer and closer to March Madness, which is probably the most fun time for any basketball fan, for any fan of sport, be it. So we're getting close to that as well. We didn't get to experience that last year, but hope now it's going to be a good time. So for Dane Richardson, Connor Blunt, I'm Jayden Becker. This was Dribbling Around. Peace out.